we're going to be tying the Camo Squid this evening, which is this guy right here. Been around a long time, and I can honestly say I don't know of any other fly that's given me more headache than this fly right here. I've spent tons of time and thrown tons of material away to learn how to tie this fly. Years ago, there was a Vimeo or whatever the hell it is, like video that Jerry did, and he had a Camo Squid on there, so I bought it, and it wasn't the same Camo Squid fly as I've seen on like the pictures and stuff. And even when you Google like Camo Squid, there's just very few, like a couple Pinterest pictures, and it wasn't the same fly. It was like kind of like the early stages of the Ultra Squid, actually, as far as construction goes. And so I have, like, this fly is like consumed me. I mean, I love this fly. Just a sweet looking fly. It's one of my favorites. Love fishing it. Still not. I mean, it's fun to tie. It's still a challenge, and I may screw this one up. But the proportions are wonky on it. Like, it has to be pretty precise to get the correct look, to get the correct sparseness and feel of the fly. It's really easy to overdress, but when you get it and you come out with a good one, it's like, baby, like, this thing's sweet. So we'll give it a go here. Hopefully I don't screw it up. I suppose if I screw it up, you'll never know because I'll just refilm it, but hopefully I don't. And then on this one, the original didn't have the Ultra rig on it, but we're going to use the Ultra rig because it's a superior way of rigging it. So here we go. To rig this thing, it's kind of a process with these Ultra rigs, but it's you'll see. It's kind of a process to rig these things, but they do work really well. So run some Power Pro through the eye of a 20 mil shank, fold them back over, and this one we'll do a cone. Slide the cone through both sections, slide the cone over the shank. Alright, now I'm just going to set it back here just so I have a holder. And now I'm going to take some mono, put it through the Power Pro loop, double it over, put my Ultra rig tubing through. Sometimes you can get away with just shoving it through the tubing, but this one's a little tight. I already tested it, so bring the tubing down. So now we've mounted the tubing on our Power Pro, and then loop on your hook. So this is a Aqua Talon number 2. It's already fighting me. Hope this isn't a sign. Alright, loop her on and take the tubing, nestle it back over the eye of the hook. Tighten everything down. Okay, so that's in. I'm going to slide the cone back and we can adjust. We can pull the bottom and just kind of see where we're at. So ideally, I want this thing like butted right against there, so it's tight when I wrap it. And then with thread wraps, this thing should be like sticking straight up like that. That means everything's tight. So I'm going to fold this forward real quick, make sure the hook eye is centered in your vise, and I think I'm a little off. Okay. Check my measurement again. Okay. Tying your thread. Hopefully this works. This is Danville A. I couldn't find my blue 210. So we'll see if we break a dubbing loop. If we do, I'll switch over to something, but yeah, we'll see. That's how we roll around here. Don't know if it's going to work. Let's make a video. Get a thread base. And I think I just screwed up the other camera. No, we're okay. Tie down top Power Pro with the Ultra Rig, and then hopefully straight up good. So from here I'm just going to take this little pawn, get that hook out of the way, go forward with it, come back under, wrap the bottom, yeah, scissors are gone. Alright, so we're all set up. We got our Ultra Rig on, we got our cone on, everything's good in the hood. Rear station, this is really what screwed me up, is there's actually 3 stations in this, so the rear is pretty darn important actually. So for dubbing, alright, new dubbing. This is the Northern Lights, this is Ice Dub, this is going to work better for this. The Camo Supreme it was just a little too, still a little too long, didn't have, it just wasn't going to work, so split this in half, just like we've done. Okay. Back station. Take some chromatic brush, and this is like blue and silver. I'll put a link down, I forget exactly which one it is. I'm going to lay that down. Actually, this is going to be kind of short. I'm actually going to cut this a little more. Lay that down just so the tips are going over our line. And I'm going to take some ripple fiber. This is blue UV. Cut that down, spread it out. And a little bit of this goes a long ways. I'm just going to put that on the end here. And fold that over. Make our dubbing loop. Wax on. Take our composite, throw it in. And then from here we can spread it out. Just to get everything separated. I don't actually want this one like too big. This is just kind of a rear bump. Spin it and hope that this thread holds together. I think it should. You never know with Danville. Danville's good, you know, it's pretty good thread, but not the best for this. So far so good. Give her a good comb out here. And then use some water. And throw some tight wraps in the rear. just as commentary in the background there. Alright. Give her a good comb. Oh yeah, that's a better choice. Look at that. That's good. Alright, cool. Happy with that. So now we're going to be throwing in some ostrich hurl. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can actually throw it in a loop if you want. I'm not going to. Jerry would probably disagree, but I want to be a little bit more cautious of my length, and I just have a harder time doing that in a dubbing loop, just because I'm pretty anal about this fly in particular. I'm just going to throw it up here. Make a couple loose wraps and just see where I'm at. So ideally I want to be, I'm picturing my hackle tips, right? And so kind of overall length of the fly, and this is just going to have to come from experience. So I want these to be kind of like squiddy, you know, kind of back with the material, but not quite as far as my hackle tips are going to be. You can kind of picture the bulk of the fly here, and we're going to be sparse back in here. So this should be pretty good. Actually, I'm going to shorten them up just a little bit. Pull them back. That's going to be good there. So now I'm just going to take my thumb and forefinger, just kind of spread them around till we get even coverage. A little more on top, a little less on bottom. I think that's looking pretty good. Okay. I'm going to take this crinkle mirror flash. This is blue. Let's take a few strands here. This is 3. Go on the top. One wrap. And then come around to the side. I'm going to do that twice. So 3 more. So I'm going to flip over the fly. Go on bottom. So right on bottom. And then to the side. Hopefully that didn't screw it up. I think we're okay. Alright, I'm going to try to take all of these dudes, and these I'm going to clip just a little bit past the ostrich hurl. Now, some water. We're going to get all of this out of our way. Alright, next composite loop. If I knew what I did with my dubbing, that'd be great. Okay. Same color. I need a little more than that. take a few seconds. This isn't a step you want to skip. This is going to make everything easier in this loop, just getting it all stacked on top of each other. Because when you get to this point, you're going to tear it in half, then it all just pops in there perfectly. Okay. Cool. Let's go some predator wrap. Metallic, let's see, barred, metallic, blue, silver, I believe is the full name for this one. Again, remember your lengths with this stuff. It's easy to get really long. So we're going to roll something like that. Like split it in like a 60-40 here. See where you're at. That looks good. Alright, that one right there is fighting me, but we'll make him comply later. What can we do for some helix? The flash is kind of, you know, up to discretion what you want, or we can do polar flash. Let's do some polar flash. Get some brightness in here. Okay, polar flash, spread it out. Throw it down. These composite loops aren't as tight as normal. I've got the tripod like right. I got to go around the tripod at an angle to put the material in the loop, so hopefully it turns out okay. Amherst pheasant tail. Look for some long dudes. Got another tail here with some longer ones, I think, yeah. Get a length on these. That's probably going to be good right there, actually. And put these just below. I'm going to call that good. Fold up and over. Notice how thin this is. That's fine. The fold up and over is really thin. Again, there's enough loop and material going into this thing that you really want to pay attention to keeping it sparse. It's really easy to overdo it on this one. Wax on. Hopefully I can grab this. Pop it in. Ooh, almost had a catastrophe there. Put our tool in, and now you can see our loop. I mean, I need to spread this out a little bit, but we definitely have longer polar flash and polar chenille in there, or not polar chenille, but predator wrap. Amherst butts are just sticking out. We need to spread this out a bit here. Alright, spin her up. Looking good. Take your tool. Now be a little careful around this Amherst. This stuff's pretty strong, but it will break if you're too rough with it. Just don't go digging like crazy in there. Get that water on there. Actually, you know what? We forgot the jungle cock. So I'm going to show you a little trick here on how we can fix this little problem we got. This is actually a good lesson because I'll forget things all the time when to put them in and stuff. So I'm going to pull my composite loop straight up high, straight 90, make some wraps, wrap it at a 90 degree, and I can just set my whole tool and everything right on my vise. And now if you forgot anything like I just did, you can throw it in and then your loop's ready to go. So, boy, this is embarrassing. Alright. And this was something I actually really wanted to show you guys. We're going to throw in jungle cock. And if you have the real stuff, this will apply. If not, no biggie. So we're going to get a length. How long do we want it? Probably about there, right? That look good? Can't tell. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. So strip off. You've seen this in flies, and I'll show you how to do it. So strip off the bottom, and we're going to leave just a little tuft right here, and this is where we're going to tie it in at. And I'm going to strip everything down to that tuft. So I don't know if you've ever seen just the little eyes of jungle cock tied in intruders with just the stem, and if you try to strip it and just tie in the stem, they're going to roll on you really bad. If you get like kind of close down here, you can just trim it away. So basically it's going to look like this, where we've got our little fluff and then the eye. And you'll see when we tie that in, it's going to lay dead straight, because if you tie it in with that fluff, it keeps it headed the direction you want it to. Let's do the other one here. Let's match them up. Alright. Tie this side in first. Tie this side in second. Ooh, that could be bad. We saved her. Alright, looks good. Tie these down. Okay, so now we can go back to our composite loop here. You might have to re-wet it, that's fine. But if you, with these heavy dubbing tools, you can just set them down, you know, works pretty good. Alright. Make our wraps. Alright, second loop in. Give it a comb. Make sure everything's doing what we want. Okay, re-wet. Now that everything's picked out, you can actually come through, clip some of these little Amherst butts if they get in your way. But I just want all the stuff out of my way. Okay, hackle tips. 4 hackle tips. I'm going to do blue on top, grizzly on bottom. If you want that nice curve, natural curve, you can just run your thumbnail under them. That'll give you that nice curve. Top 2 are a little more prominent and longer than the bottom 2. So it's hard to pick your, I mean, you're kind of stuck with what you got on your cape or in your saddle, but just kind of measure her out. That looks good there. Give her a strip. Get blue number 2. Match them up. Okay, find a tie-in spot. So we're going to go like 2 top, 2 bottom. Once you're happy with it, I was doubling back, so I'll tie them this way, then wrap it backwards. clip them, flip over the vise. Now I got our grizzlies. We're going to go a little shorter. Okay. Same deal. And there it is. It would have sucked if I lost that. Alright. Wrap it back. Alright, starting to look pretty good here. Last step, last composite loop consisting of ostrich herl. I might have the dead battery. No, I'm okay for now. Why don't we do lavender for this? Split, yeah, let's stack it up a little better here. Tear it in half, throw down. I'm actually going to give myself, we're going to do a scrim on this one. So we're just going to lay some over the top on this one. Blue and black ostrich sound good? Get a length. Probably something like that, yeah. Okay. The reason I'm going to do a scrim is I want some dubbing left over. So for a scrim, we're just going to take the tiniest little bit, and I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to pull it real long and thin, and just lay it over the top like that. OG status. Make our last dubbing loop. Wax it. And this one's going to be tricky. I like to have a better angle, but pick it up. Pop it in. Can't believe that worked. That camera right there for the loop, the card camera, right in the way. That was a weird angle. Alright, spread her out. Let me cut this dude here. Okay, you can see that there. Give her a spin. You may have to watch. Some of this Amherst will want to party down with your loop. Okay, I think we're good. Pick. Ooh, that was a close one. Alright, water it. And wrap her tight up to the cone. Give her a wet finish. I'll do two here. Alright, give her a nice fluffing. Go through and kind of pick out anything that needs to be picked out. I like combing it out in every stage though, because that makes this process, kind of the end process, a lot easier. We kind of comb it out after each loop, then we're just like fluffing. There we go. Pop her out. Attach your ultra rig here. Hook up. And there you have your ultra squid. I just love this fly, and actually this one turned out pretty good, so we'll keep it. I'll probably end up fishing this in a couple weeks, but love this fly. One of my favorite flies. Again, like, it's a total mystery, man. You go search on Google and you just get a couple images, but it wasn't the same fly as he tied on the Vimino. It was a different fly, and this thing just gosh, it was like all consuming. So when I finally kind of got it dialed in and figured it out, I love tying these things. Just sweet, like true, early days of, I don't know, just reminds me of like the early days of these big flies and just how exciting it was and just how new and fresh and, all this stuff was, and trying to dig up information and anything we could. It was a cool time to be around, and I just love this fly. So anyway, thanks a ton for watching. Appreciate the support, and I'm trying to. There we go. Maybe get a cool like glimpse of the fly there, but anyway, thanks a ton.